Christ, Persona, how could you do this to me? You're the series that gave us Festival, Golden, Royale, but now you decided to take the boring route and join the RE family. Not that one, I'm talking of the likes of Returns, Rebirth, Rehydrated and Recycled. So now here we are with Persona 3 Reload, but with its merit it actually makes sense this time. After all, you reload a weapon, and this game is famous for being the only time where it's socially acceptable to cheer at a bunch of teenagers pointing a gun to their head. Maybe cheer is a bit out of place here. We're talking of a game where a quirky group of scoundrels goes around town killing soul-sucking monsters called shadows who are turning humans into hollow shells, aimlessly wandering on the streets. A phenomenon they call apathy syndrome, but I prefer to refer to it as normal daily life in Coventry. But nothing gives me more joy than utter complete misery, which is why I cherish the original Persona 3 so much. What's not to love after all? It's got the best plot, the best cast and character arcs, a soundtrack so good it makes me wanna buy that stupid dancing game spin-off, it's got the cute doggy that goes, a sexy gender-swapped Buzz Lightyear, some of the best social links of the entire series, and some of the absolute worst too, and a combat system that makes me wanna die. Villains more volatile than a fart on top of the Everest. A story so poorly paced you can spend 8 hours without anything substantial happen. Yeah, that ain't good. An unoriginal person would probably describe it as a flawed masterpiece, whereas I prefer the more elegant, one of the 3 games out there that actually deserves a remake, which is why I was beyond excited for Reload, while also keeping a pitchfork ready at hand to raid the Atlus offices, since I was afraid they would just cut away the important stuff. Dating Elizabeth and dating Aegis. Both are still there. Alright, the expanded ending, the answer is not here, but the answer was to Persona 3 what the Huns were to the Roman Empire. A complete catastrophe. And I would say I'm surprised that people online are ready to pay to have it back, but then I reminded myself that you guys also bought that Suicide Squad crap, so... However, this reminds me that joke I made on my Yakuza 8 review about Sega selling the true ending as a DLC might just become true after all. But let's focus on what the game actually features, because fixing Persona 3's issues wasn't an easy task, but I trust that they figured out how to fill those in-game months where absolutely nothing happened. Right, Atlus? We didn't really change anything? Oh, come on! What's with remakes nowadays putting their original counterparts on a pedestal as if it was some kind of holy relic? And why of all things you'd make a religion out of a game where a kid wants to bang his teacher? And relic is the appropriate term here, because the original game shows its age. Understandably so, being the first game of the series. Yes, I said first, nobody played Persona 1 and 2. Bite me. Daily activities options are extremely basic, and you only have 3 social stats to max out, which is now even easier to do, except for the academics you need to date this goddamn entitled asshole. Stop pretending to be so smart, Mitsuru. No, it's spelled Champ de Fleur. Learn your French, lady. This is also the game where the social links system's most glaring issue is extremely evident. The fact that you befriend people by enabling them rather than lending an actual hand. Oh, you are a teenager and want to bang your teacher? Sure, man, that's no big deal. You're 6 and you want to run away from home because your parents are divorcing? Why not? Nothing bad could ever happen. Everything for that sweet rank up. And why is this insufferable moron still in the game? The main dungeon, Tartarus, is just an endless series of corridors. But alright, I'll give him that. It looks really nice now. Except maybe that one area seemingly made just to justify the epilepsy warning at the beginning. Yet 20 hours into the game, Tartarus still wasn't boring me, whereas in the original game by that point I was already having my wrists joining the answer in the realm of cut content for how repetitive it was getting. Simply put, this might just be the best combat I experienced in a Persona game. It takes everything good from Persona 5 while adding elements from the original Persona 3 I liked a lot, like more different types of physical attacks and more complex enemies. Not that I would know which enemy is which though, since Persona 3 still belonged to an age where it was acceptable to just change the color of an enemy and pretend it was a different one every time. This remakes even makes fun of it, just to keep the enemies' designs there. Making a self-referential joke is fun, Atlus. Keeping the stuff you're criticizing there feels like you're intentional trying to piss me off. Still, there's a lot more to the Tartarus. Mini boss rushes, optional enemies, big hands you have to chase cause they know what a young teenager would do with them. And as for the combat, they didn't stop at updating the whole thing. If you thought it was fun seeing the cast turning their brain into a British dish at every turn, now imagine what's gonna happen when they actually load the gun with live rounds. The game calls this... Okay, I'm not gonna try to spell it in English or you're gonna make fun of me, so I'll just act superior and use the ancient Greek theurgia. Or we can just call them for what they are, limit breaks. Given that I'm older than 8, flashy lights alone can't really enthrall me, but how you actually charge the limit break definitely can. Each character has its own way to fill their limit bar, whatever truly makes their blood rush. Some feel empowered from healing their allies, others prefer to inflict ailments to enemies, although it feels a bit unrealistic cause I still remember what kind of stuff made me very emotional in my teenage years, and it would have made for a quite different game. But overall, good job on all this, Atlus. You added so much stuff to the gameplay, it must have been tough to balance it all. Balance it? Jesus Christ, man! Persona 3 was hard and challenging. How hard? Let me ask you, are you familiar with tables? Tables are great, that's where you eat your chicken nuggets and pizza. But if you have played Persona 3, tables probably give you Vietnam flashbacks. Look at this, it's literally sleeping. It's a mid-game mini-boss. What can it possibly... Oh, so how does it fare in Reload? How long will it take me to kill... Oh, this pretty much describes the entire Reload experience. You steamroll bosses like it's nothing. Okay, I've been complaining enough, and that's not too fair. Time to go back and grab that golden hand so I can rub Atlus one off. No, wait, can someone tell me first why the protagonist awakening sucks so much? The original game had this very cool animated cutscene, the anime had this amazing rendition, so why are we getting this bullshit here? Okay, got that off my chest. While I said that the plot is completely unchanged, a lot has been added in the form of new optional dialogues with your companions. It might sound like nothing special, but this helps immensely in fleshing out the characters and more importantly, foreshadowing or setting up the most dramatic moments of the story, making them much more impactful. Even these guys, who absolutely sucked in the original, finally get some extra screen time so we can at least relate to them to a level that goes above the Mariana Trench. Then again, why are there so many new, well-crafted, fully voice-acted interactions, yet nothing has been done to address the fact that a ton of stuff still happens off-screen?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh, hi guys, I found this classmate of yours out there shitting himself. It was so fun seeing him crying like a baby. Oh really? Well, you could have called me instead of just waking me up in the middle of the night. Oh hey, remember that cute doggy from the shrine? He can summon a persona. You should have seen it. There were flames blazing and shit. It was crazy. And he didn't even need to shoot himself to do that. Oh great, so now I'm sleepy and I have an inferiority complex towards a dog. I did it again, huh? I'm sorry, Persona 3, I'm not being mean because I hate you, but because you mean so much to me. This is a story that tackles depression, hopelessness and death. It's a story of a group of kids upon which the burdens of adulthood are bestowed through trauma. Jealousy, distrust and rage looms in their ranks, and it takes a whole year before they finally grow together and start treating each other as friends rather than co-workers, with an ending that almost 20 years later still makes me cry. Which brings me to the final point. How do I judge this remake? I could make sweet love with it for days, but 70% of what makes it good is from the original game and the other 30% comes from the new stuff. And when I factor in the missed opportunities to improve it further, I can't just give it a full pass. But this is also the only version of Persona 3 where I don't have to listen to Fuka's awful original voice acting.
Oh, I'm sorry for doing that without permission.
Yeah, I'll be gentle here. But I'm still sad, because I thought this was going to be the first time on my channel where I could finally describe a game with that adorable, tender word that gives me so much joy. You mean masterpiece? What? No, rim job.